Welcome to the UGC EPG Pathshala lecture series in computer science. In this series of lectures, we have been looking at the subject software engineering. For today's session, I will be giving you an overview of project quality management. Some of the learning objectives of this particular session include to describe the quality of information technology projects, to enumerate the need for project quality management, and to understand various quality standards. First of all, to look at the quality of information on the IT projects. Before understanding what exactly is the quality, if I am to define customer service as one of the quality or satisfying the customer as another quality, then these are one of the quality processes, one of these qualities on developing a project. But then when you look at the quality, this quality is not to look at all this, although customer satisfaction is one of the very important property for making a very qualitative product. But then there are a list of processes which we may have to adopt. There are a sequence of processes, and the way in which we execute the sequence of processes makes the project qualitative. So, with that as a notion, we are trying to start with quality information technology projects. With respect to information technology projects, as you might be aware, more than 40% of the projects fail because of not meeting the exact time schedule, and of those 40% of the projects, or if you look at the 100% of the projects, not more than 80% of the projects are qualitative work. So, with that specific juncture, what customer is expecting as a quality from the project, or if I am trying to develop a product, there are certain quality standards which should have been met. So, those are the constraints for developing a particular project or a product, for which the essential processes that we are about to define encompasses on the quality. So, let us look at the quality of information technology projects. Many people comment about the poor quality of IT products. So, any product, IT product that people are trying to develop, most of the people do complain on either on the hardware or on the software or on the services that they provide or the infrastructure that has been created. There are certain lacuna in the quality. So, this actually initiates, or this actually projects us with the poor quality. So, people seem to accept systems being down occasionally or needing to reboot their PCs. So, because of this lack of standards in the hardware, say for example, they may have to reboot the machine again and again. So, because of which there can be certain problem with the actual product. So, there are many examples in the news about quality problems relating to IT. So, these quality problems are essentially to study on what went wrong, at what point in time, where it went wrong, and all these studies happen only after a certain sequence of processes have happened. But then, while the development of all the processes will not be maintaining quality, or we will not be enforcing on the quality. So, this session highlights the importance of quality at the stage of development of processes, various processes. But then quality is very important in many of the IT products or most of the IT projects. What exactly is the project quality management? If you look at the study that has been made by International Organization for Standardization, they define quality as the totality of characteristics of an entity that bear on its ability to satisfy stated or implied needs. So, to be very specific or to the concrete definition of what ISO has defined, it primarily needs to meet the objectives given by the customer, or to state it very simply, customer satisfaction. So, quality is the totality of characteristics. The project might have many characteristics as expected by the customer, or a list of characteristics as expected by the customer, say for example scalability, interoperability, integrity, security. If you look at all these points are essential qualities that a product or a project needs to possess. So, from that juncture, if you look at the totality of characteristics of an entity that bear on its ability to satisfy stated or implied needs. So, other experts define quality based on conformance to requirements. So, any requirements that is been defined in the beginning. So, requirements are defined at the beginning. So, conformance to all the requirements that the customer has posted. So, whenever we meet the requirements that is being given, it is obviously turning out to be a customer satisfaction. So, meeting return specifications, or it can also be defined as fitness for use, where ensuring a product can be used as it was intended. So, the purpose with which it was intended to do, we are satisfying the purpose. So, that becomes fitness for use. So, to ensure on the quality, we are about to define different levels of processes. So, quality planning, we may have to actually plan on the processes which are to be executed either into a sequential fashion or into a defined fashion. So, quality planning identifies which quality standards are relevant to the project, and it also defines how to satisfy them. So, let us take for example a simple quality management process which has actually at stage 1 an initial meeting. At stage 2 it has got document reporting requirements. Maybe I can prepare a detailed project report. I can report on the requirements that is given by the customer, and we may have to define the roles and responsibilities of all the person who is involved in the development of this process or the project, or we may have to define each and every process's role at this particular stage. And at the fourth stage, we may have to actually build, which is actually called as an implementation in our strategy. And we may have to present any innovative ideas, anything that can happen creative in between the stages, those can be presented. And finally, it is presented for the feedback and fine tuning. So, this is in accordance with the customer, and it will be delivered as a worthy project or a product to the customer back again. So, if you look at the entire phase that is happening, it is actually a list of processes, but then from the start till the end, or from the customer's hand bringing it back to the customer hand as a product, it may have to ensure that it actually meets out with some of the standards that is already been built relating to the quality. There is another common notion which is called assuring on the quality, which is called quality assurance. So, this quality assurance tries to evaluate overall project performance to ensure the project will satisfy the relevant quality standards. So, we enforce or we assure that every project has got quality processes involved. Many a times we would have gone out, we would have seen an ISI standard, which is actually to ensure that this product has got a quality. Some projects are defined by ISO 9001 2000. Some projects are even defined with higher standards. So, likewise, we try to define different strategies, or we try to define different levels of standards that is in accordance with the quality of the product. So, if you look at this quality assurance scenario, almost all the phases starting from the initial phase till the support phase, almost all the phases ensure or assure that quality is the main criteria that is left behind at every stage. So, at initiation level quality is assured, at analysis planning level, requirement specification level, design, development, testing, delivery and support, at each and every phase we try to ensure that there exists quality of processes, quality that will be delivered as an end result or output. So, everywhere quality is given utmost importance. So, when we are at the defining of project scope, that is at the initiation and the planning analysis phase, we ensure or assure that the quality is being given. When we specify the features baseline system, that is during the requirement specification and design specification, we ensure quality is given. When we are about to actually build a product or a project, we have a development and testing phase where again we ensure on the quality assurance. And finally, during the support and delivery, at times we may stop our quality till the implementation stage. It is not just to the implementation stage, it is to the operation and maintenance stage we may have to ensure or assure on the quality. So, delivering a product to the customer, meeting all the requirements that the customer has provided, until then this quality assurance is to be given utmost importance. And the other important title that we may have to talk about is quality control. So, although we assure on the quality, we may have to monitor continuously in what stage or at what level quality is being given. So, monitoring specific project results to ensure that they comply with the relevant quality standards while identifying ways to improve overall quality. So, if you look at all the stages that I have given here, starting from design, coding, integration and operation, at various stages we have test and quality control system, which test result analysis, program reliability analysis, project reliability analysis, test coverage analysis, where almost all level of testing is being done so that it does not or deviate anywhere starting from the requirements. So, we meet almost all the standards that is being given by the customer, we meet all the requirements that is given by the customer. We ensure that the product has utmost quality by enforcing lot of test analysis that has happened with the system. So, talking from that perspective, now that we talk more on modern quality management, where modern quality management talks more on customer satisfaction. As I have been repeatedly telling you, customer satisfaction is a very important point that every quality is about to have. So, it prefers prevention to inspection. So, we do not think on how to prevent it from not getting onto a defect, how to prevent it from not meeting an error condition, rather than we may have to inspect at every point in time so that it actually meets the requirements that the customer has specified. And it recognizes management responsibility for quality. So, it is not at the top level of the management who will check for the quality, it is for every individual who does any quantum of work. Every individual is responsible for the quality of their work. So, quality is on all the processes done at individual level, at the management level also. So, some of the noteworthy quality experts like Deming, Juran, Crossby, Ishikawa, Taguchi and Feigenbaum, all these experts have defined quality standards, and say for example Deming, Juran, they have defined their own way of quality standards. If you look at these quality experts, Deming was famous for his work in rebuilding Japan and his 14 points. So, once there was a greater part of calamity that has happened, Deming tried to approach and brought back the entire system into form by way of projecting 14 points which he has defined as quality parameters, and by ensuring those 14 points people will be able to build any system with utmost quality in it. Likewise, Juran wrote a quality control handbook and 10 steps to quality improvement. How to ensure as a process of continuous improvement stage. So, quality and control and management will be ensured at every stage over the continuous process. And Crossbuy wrote, quality is free, and suggested that organizations strive for zero defects. So, majorly any product that is being developed, we try to ensure that it is 100% defect free environment. But then we cannot say any product has 100% defect free. Rather, we can ensure that it is 99.99% defect free. So, that is being given by Crossbuy. At the same time, Ishikawa developed the concept of quality circles, and he used fishbone diagrams for representing or approaching towards quality. And Taguchi developed methods for optimizing the process of engineering experimentation, where he ensured quality. And finally, Feigenbaum developed the concept of total quality control. So, total quality means not only certain characteristics that is being defined as quality is being inculcated, or it actually takes up many a list of parameters, looking at the process, looking at the customer satisfaction, looking at the continuous process improvement, looking at the various parameters. It is the entire quality that needs to be controlled. So, it is actually a total quality control. To give you a simple example, I will talk about Deming's 14-point rule. This was very popular quality control model in Japan during the early 1950s, and this was announced as Deming Prize for Quality in Japan also. And people believes that quality must be built into the product at all stages in order to achieve higher level of excellence. So, there should be a potential for excellence, and there should be a continuous process improvement where we must take, or we must ensure that the product can be built with utmost quality at all stages. So, Deming defines quality as predictable degree of uniformity and dependability at low cost and suited to the market. Any product that suits to the market needs at a varying or at a cheaper price, which maintains uniformity and dependability, is the actual definition that Deming has defined. So, 96% of variations have common causes and 4% have special causes. Looking on from the Deming's chain reaction, as and when the quality improves, cost will decrease. So, this some of us may not agree. So, whenever we are trying to produce utmost quality, we obviously think that there will be increase in cost, and the productivity will also tend to decrease. So, this we would have experienced in many products which are launched in the market, but then it is not so. As the quality improves, there should be a less cost that will be incurred on the product, or the cost will decrease, but then there will be a large volume of product that will be developed. So, productivity will automatically try to increase, resulting in more jobs, greater market share, and long term survival. Stresses work pride and satisfaction rather than establishment of quantifiable goals. So, whenever we are trying to ensure quality, it tries to reduce the individual's stress, and they will be very happy on the work that they tend to provide, and it gives them a complete satisfaction that they have developed this product as an individual, as a company, as a management also. So, overall approach focuses on improvement of the process, in that the system rather than the worker is the cause of process variation. So, here comes the 14 point that Deming has defined for the management. We may have to maintain consistency, create consistency of purpose with a plan. So, anything that we are trying to develop, we may have to maintain consistency till the end. So, quality is not short term profit, should be at the heart of the organization purpose. So, profit will follow when the quality becomes an objective and purpose. So, anything that we are defining it as a quality and we are defining it as a purpose, we may have to ensure that this objective and purpose is not being made short term. This should be This objective should be a long term objective, and all this should not be for a purpose of profit. Instead, it should be the heart of the organization. So, whereby we maintain consistency throughout the long term work and we ensure that this has quality in it. Rule number 2 is adopt the new philosophy of quality, where the modern era demands ever increasing quality as a mean of survival and global competitiveness. Say for example, if at all we are to develop a product, we should not, there will be a list of do's and don'ts. We should not take an inferior material. There should not be anywhere a poor workmanship. There we cannot use any product which is of defect or second quality product, or there should not be any poor service. So, we may have to adopt a completely new strategy which says all the products or the process which we tend to develop need to have or need to be defined with appropriate quality that we are trying to talk about. So, reduction of defects is replaced by elimination of defects. Rather than we say we tend to reduce defect, or we tend to completely take out, or we tend to reject the entire defects. The new culture of quality must reflect a commitment to quality and must be supported by all employees. So, we should not tend to reduce the number of defect, rather we should reject the defect or eliminate the complete defect. And the third point says about cease dependence on mass inspection. So, quality can't be inspected in, it must be built right from the start. So, that is what I am trying to tell from the beginning. Quality is not something that after having tested on a particular product we try to provide on top of the tested product. Quality should be right from the beginning. It is from the requirements collection, it is to the design, it is to the specification document that we do, it is during the phase of building, and it is at the phase of testing. And simultaneously, till the time it is being handed over to the customer for operation and maintenance, the quality needs to be continuously there. Defects discovered during inspection cannot be avoided. It is too late. Efficiency and effectiveness have been lost as it has continuous process improvement. So, this process which has been continuously evolving all throughout these days reduces cost incurred by correcting errors that should not have been made in the first place. There is an end of practice of choosing suppliers based on price. So, I cannot select a supplier who gives me the least cost but not ensuring to the quality standards. If I am looking for the quality, I know appropriately what would be the sum value of the entire product. So, least cost is not necessarily the best cost. So, buying from a supplier based on the lower cost rather than the quality or cost basis defeats the need for long term relationships. So, vendor quality can be evaluated using statistical tools by looking at the features, by looking at the specifications, by looking at the product's worth, by looking at the trustworthiness. These are some of the essential means by where we can ensure on the quality of the product. So, this can be appropriately done by use of statistical tools. So, identify problems and work continuously to improve the system. So, continuous improvement is a very important strategy that we may have to follow during the quality of a product. So, continuous improvement of a system requires seeking out methods for improvement. The search for quality improvement is never ending and results from studying the process itself, not the defects detected during inspection. So, any defect that has been looked after during the inspection can be or should be eliminated rather than it should be reduced. So, adopt modern methods of training on the job. So, what are the modern methods that we can put towards the training of the job? To start with from the beginning or from the scratch, what the purpose need to be solved. So, training involves teaching employees the best methods of achieving quality. So, start from the beginning on the individuals, on the employees, that what are the best practices that they may have to follow, so that they will ensure pride on developing the system, quality while developing the system, feel satisfactory on development of a particular product. So, best methods of achieving quality in their job and use of tools such as statistical quality control. change the focus from production numbers, or rather than from quantity to quality. So, your focus should not be on producing more the numbers, your focus should be on producing a quality product. So, the focus on volume of production instead of quality leads to defects and rework that may result in inferior products at higher cost. So, we might end up with very low quality product, but then we will not be able to appropriately investigate and say that this product has costed this much. So, drive out fear. Employees need not feel secure in order to in order for quality to be achieved. Fear of asking questions, reporting problems or making suggestions will prevent the desired climate of openness. So, employees should feel free to ask to their higher ups on where there should be a change. Employees should feel free looking up on the quality aspects, as and when I say continuous process improvement, when not, if at all I am to improve on the process, there should not, or the employee should not feel, the employee should not have any fear on them. So, there should be breaking down barriers between departments, between one department and the other department. If they have a concept of ego, or there seems to be a lack of misunderstanding between them, then the product cannot be at most qualitative. So, the understanding with which the requirements of this department varies with the understanding with which it has gone to the next level. So, we may have to break down the barriers between the departments. Stop requesting improved productivity without providing methods to achieve it. So, in order for mentioning productivity, so you as a management will force us to do say 1000 products a day or 1000 products a year. So, from that simple say, we cannot produce maximum products without any quality. So, we may have to, as management, we may have to provide them with appropriate methodology, or we may have to tell them ways and means by where the same quality product, once having developed, can be produced in large volumes. Eliminate work standards that describe numerical quotas. Focus on the quota, like a focus on production, may encourage and reward people for numerical targets, frequently at the expense of quality. Remove barriers to pride of workmanship. Appraisal systems that attempt to coerce performance should be replaced by systems that attempt to overcome obstacles imposed by inadequate material, equipment or training. Institute vigorous education and retraining. So, Deming emphasizes on training not only in the methods of the specific job, but also in the form of tools and techniques for quality control, as well as instruction in teamwork and philosophy of quality culture. And finally, this is a very important point, all the points that we have looked at in the Deming's 14-point rule create a structure in top management that will emphasize repeatedly the preceding 13 points every day. So, all the employees of a particular organization may have to enforce all the 13 points repeatedly every day, so that they might come out with a standard which is quality standard defined for themselves. When they feel satisfied with their job, then actually the product will come out worthy. In short, in this particular session, I have been talking about project quality management, where the importance of quality management on the IT based projects have been given at the beginning. Then project quality management, with the process we have tried defining in terms of conformance of standards, fitness to use, quality assurance, quality control, and finally I have defined a 14-point rule which has been defined by Deming regarding to the quality. Thank you.